The next story is called A Father's Miracle. And a miracle is something that only God can do. No one else can do it. And so this is a special story about a boy who needed a miracle. Nathan's family lived in a small, neat house near the lake. Every day, after finishing his schoolwork, Nathan would rush into his dad's woodshop and do all kinds of handy things to help him. He loved to watch his dad make things with wood. Something beautiful was always the finished product. His father's hands were big and rough, but they could produce smooth, delicate things. Many times after a hard day working with wood, Nathan and his dad would go to the lake, and they would fish and they would talk for hours and hours. They then would return home carrying the fish they caught for supper, smelling of sawdust and river mud. One particular day, Dad was making a beautiful table for a lady that lived nearby, and Nathan used a Hebrew word to call his dad. It's called Abba. Abba means dad or father. Abba, I just love this table you're building. I wish we could keep it. His dad smiled. Your mother would really love this table, but right now we need to sell it so we have money to buy food. After a while, they heard their mother calling them ready for dinner. As Nathan's dad washed his hands, Nathan noticed that the water in the sink was turning red. Abba, I think you have a cut. Said his dad. I don't feel anything. And his dad looked puzzled. At dinner, his father gave a blessing over the meal and thanked Yahweh. Yahweh is a Hebrew word for God, for the wonderful day that they had. The family talked and laughed and told stories of the wonderful things that Yahweh was doing for all of his people. When it was time for bed, Nathan's dad said a prayer and blessed each member of the family. I am so lucky, Nathan said to his parents as they blew out the candles to go to bed. I don't know what I would do if something ever happened to either of you. His mother answered with a smile and a kiss. Our trust is always in Yahweh, and He will take care of us. His father's hand got worse, and the cut looked sore and red, and the bandages had to be changed often. Nathan's parents looked worried and very sad. Have you ever fallen down and cut your knee, and your mom or dad has to get a Band-Aid for you? Well, he had to keep changing his bandages. One afternoon, Nathan found his mother crying quietly, and his dad was trying to comfort her. His dad wiped the tears from his mother's face, and he looked at Nathan. He said, Son, I have to go away. Nathan was filled with panic. He said, No, Abba, no. Why do you have to go away? I don't want you to leave us. Nathan's dad put his hand around Nathan's head. I have a sickness called leprosy. The priest confirmed it today. Because it's very catching, I can't be near anyone. I have to be by myself, says the law. His dad knelt down and looked at Nathan right in his eyes. Nathan, you must help your mother. The table for our neighbor is ready to be sold, and the money will feed you while I am gone. Nathan had seen people with leprosy before. It's when your skin gets red and sore and starts to peel. Have you ever had a sunburn before? If you've been to the beach and your nose gets burnt and it might peel a little bit? Well, leprosy is like that, but much, much worse. Sores were everywhere on a leper's body, and so those people were covered in bandages. And sometimes they cried out and in pain, and when other healthy people saw them, they would yell out in a not a nice way, You're unclean, you're unclean, to warn everyone to stay away from a leper. The family clung together and watched as their dad left. Would they ever be a family again? Before Nathan's father left, he said, Please pray for a miracle. Only Yahweh can heal me. And with that, he turned and left, and Nathan watched him go farther and farther away until he could no longer see his dad. As his mother tucked him into bed that night, she whispered to Nathan and his sister, Pray for a miracle. Please pray for a miracle. Remember, a miracle is something only God can do. How could Yahweh let this happen? Nathan wondered. And then he remembered the story in the Bible about Yahweh parting the Red Sea. That's a really exciting story. Healing his father seemed like such a little miracle compared to that. Nathan promised himself that he would pray every day until his dad came home. Months went by, and Nathan was soothed by his mother's words. Don't be afraid. Yahweh will take care of us. And indeed, he did. The money for the table had come just at the right time. But what would happen when the money was gone? At the edge of town, Nathan's dad was getting worse. Sores covered his whole body. He wished his family was with him, and he wished he was at home. He missed the smile of his wife and the hugs and laughter from his children. He was afraid, he was sick, and he was lonely. One day, he heard about someone performing miracles in Galilee. Deaf people were hearing, and blind people were seeing. And this man was called Yeshua, and he was the reason for it all. Many people said that he was the promised Messiah. Nathan's dad set out toward Galilee. It was hot, and he had to avoid traveling next to anyone on the road. Remember, no one wanted to be near a leper. When evening approached, he saw a crowd of people as they caught sight of him. With looks of horror and disgust, they shouted, "You're unclean! Get away from us!" One man even picked up a rock and would have thrown it at Nathan's father if Yeshua had not stopped him. Instead of turning away, Yeshua walked towards Nathan's dad. Dropping to his knees, Nathan's dad knew in his heart that this was the person people were talking about, the person that had the power to heal him and make him well. With all his strength, he said to Yeshua, who's Jesus, "If you are willing, you can make me clean." Never before had anyone looked at Nathan's dad with such kindness and love. Yeshua saw past the sores on his skin and almost seemed as if he knew him inside and out. Yeshua touched Nathan's dad and said, "Of course I am willing. Be clean." He said it so powerfully, but yet with gentleness. Nathan's dad shook with excitement. Yeshua had healed him. His skin became to get perfectly clear. Yeshua smiled at him and said, "Before you say or do anything, go to your priest and let him declare that you are healed." But how could he keep quiet? He was so excited he wanted to tell everyone the news. "Yeshua healed me. I can go home," he wanted to say. In the small neat house by the lake, Nathan finished his prayer as he always did. "And Yahweh, please heal Abba, my father, and bring him home." As he raised his head, he looked across the table at his mother. His mother always put a plate and a knife, fork, and spoon at the side of the table where Nathan's dad always sat, never giving up hope. As mother passed the bread when dinner was finishing up, Nathan heard a noise, and it came again, and this time they understood what they were hearing. The voice was saying, "Is my family home?" Could it really be their beloved father, Abba? They all ran outside, and there he was, Nathan's father, clean and well, with a huge smile on his face. What a reunion it was. They hugged him and kissed him, all crying tears of joy. Nathan's father was home again. Dinner got cold that night because the children did not want to eat dinner and go to bed until their father had told them everything. Nathan heard all about being a lonely leper on the side of the road and a wonderful man that healed him. It was Yeshua, the Messiah we've waited for, Yahweh's own son. Nathan went to bed happier than he ever had been. "I knew you would heal him, Yahweh. Thank you so much," he prayed. As he drifted to sleep, he thought of how amazing it was that God's own son had brought his father back. You may never see a person with leprosy, but some people are sick and have bandages. They might not look clean to you or nice, but we should always try to be like Jesus, Yeshua, and show compassion and kindness to everyone. In what ways do you think you can show God's love? If you want to read more about Nathan's father, you go to the book in the Bible called Matthew, chapter 8, verses 1 and 4. Always remember, boys and girls, that Jesus wants you to always be kind. You never know if someone is sad or hurting or sick, and so show your heart by always being kind and compassionate.